So anyway, in the news update, we got interrupted by updates, but hey, we're back, and just more on the Shields saga pertaining to the children and the questionable care that they're in. Barbara Poe had talked Beth into going in my apartment last Tuesday night, and she was in here with Barbara out there being a lookout, like a jailbird lookout kind of situation out in the hallway, and I heard her in there, and I was in there talking to my uncle. And it's like, it's so quiet over there. Barbara's got it so quiet over there so she can hear what I'm saying, and she's got it so quiet over there so I can't hear that Beth Ann's over there. But of course, everybody in the whole building knows she's still coming over because I see her going up and down the steps and going around the building. We got cameras all around the building now, and I can see her when she's going in and out. The Wi-Fi cameras is on a separate system, so even though the computer crashes, I don't lose any of that because it's on a separate system. Ha ha ha! They thought they had it, but they didn't have it. That's not even connected to the internet. But I have an internal Wi-Fi. It's separate from that. Pretty smart, huh? But, you got to do this detective work because Beth Ann is in an abusive environment. She's in a controlling, manipulative environment, and the person who's watching her is not very stable as an agile person. And to say the least, to top off the cake, it's like so quiet over there. The kids are over because I said something outside her door to retaliate against her because she went to my apartment last week. Since she didn't get arrested, which she should be, because, all the laws are written for women. So that's why they can get away with stuff like that. But say if I went to her apartment like that, I'd be locked up. I would be thrown under the jail because I'm a predator. I'm a bad guy, and I would be the robber or bad person because all the laws are written for men. There's nothing in there for women, because it's a women world when it comes to the Commonwealth. And it's common for women, but it's not common for men. So it's not always fair or equal is what I'm saying. The law should be rewritten for both men because there are bad women like Barbara Poe that should be locked up. It should be in hospital. It should be in some type of professional care. Putting her in questionable environments because I heard her say over there when I was saying stuff outside her door, "Don't say nothing to him." Yeah, that's what Beth Ann said. So she's over there right now. And, and this has been going on. It's no secret. I just don't like all the secret stuff because I already know she's over here and they're sneaking her over here. It's like Sean can't handle Beth Ann, so they bring her over here so Barbara can handle her. It's like that's the second handler. It's like Barbara's a handler, right? And she handles Beth Ann because Sean can't handle her herself. It's like she can't deal with Beth Ann, so she dumps her over here is what I'm saying. And it's like one abusive person to another. And so what do? She just sits there and plays games all day. And she's got to be real quiet. She can't talk. Like when they came over here, I let them talk and laugh and giggle and play and just be normal, like normal kids are. But anybody goes over to Barbara Poe's house, it's like, shh. It's like a mausoleum. But they're in there, but they got to be quiet. They're under restraint. They can't talk. They can't do anything. It's like prison camp or boot camp. But that's pretty much what's going on. And yet, but Sean thinks that's an ideal environment for her daughter. No wonder why I wouldn't talk to my mother, because my mother is very abusive, just like this person who they're sending her over to. So, I can understand why I wouldn't want to have a relationship with my mother like that. When someone's like that. So anyway, in other news, just want to give you an update on the Shield saga as it continues. Other than that, I walked to the bank today, got a ride there from a nice patron, Wayne. And he's a really nice guy. But the car was dirty. I don't know. Yeah, it was a used car, I guess. But, it was nice that he gave me a ride. I paid him $2 for gas. Then he tried to talk me into buying lunch. I said, no, I can't do that. I did pay you for gas, though, but I can't buy you everything for you. Because I got to have money for my own bills. But I did pay money for fuel. Because it was, $2 worth of gas. It was a gallon of gas. It probably wasn't even a gallon of gas that I used. But I gave him $2 just to be nice. Because I really didn't have to go too far. Maybe 3 miles, maybe. But a gallon of gas is probably more like about 18 or 20 miles. So, yeah, he got definitely a good deal for $2 for that distance. I would say. But he was a nice guy. I got a vibe, so I just got out of there. And kind of went and hid in the building and kind of went somewhere else. And he came out, didn't know where I went. And he left. And then I just walked home. I just got some weird vibes about the dude. towards the end, so I just kind of, I'm smart, so I just listened to my gut. So he didn't seem like he was really had it all together, and he was a little under the influence of alcohol too. But anyway, other than that, it was nice that he gave me a ride, but I just had some weird feelings about him after a while when I started talking to him. But I wanted to tell you though, folks, but I'm okay. And I'm sure the guy was okay, but he was under the influence of alcohol, and I don't want to be in the car with him. If a cop were to stop him or something. So that's why I wanted to get out. And I don't even know if the car was stolen, so that's another thing. I didn't see tags on the window. Usually you have tags on the window. I didn't see them. So it might have been stolen, for all I know. I don't know. But I just don't want to be in that situation. Because thieves will try to remove the tags off the windows. You know how you have tags on the windows? Virginia tags. The state tags go there? Well, they weren't there. The county tags that are there, Hanover or Henrico or whatever, they're usually right there on the windshield. They weren't there. So that was a little fishy. For them to drive a car without those tags. But anyway, that's why I got out of there too. I did not want to become an accessory to a crime that I did not commit. So, anyway, I'm not into that kind of stuff anyway. Yeah, it's my glass that I read with. So if you see me with that, I should put that thing down. But, I love Beth Ann, and that's why I'm doing this, because I'm looking out for her safety and looking out for her well-being. I don't like her over at Barbara Poe's. I think she's unstable mentally, psychologically. I think she's abusive to Beth Ann and the kids that come over there. They have to be totally quiet when they come over there. All they do is play games and stay on their phones all day. And they can't talk, they can't laugh, they can't do anything when they're over her house. And Beth Ann's been coming over for over a year now, probably almost going on a year and a half. And, all they do is just have to be quiet. And they play games all day on the cell phone. That's all they do. And Instagram. And to me, I would get bored of playing games on the phone after a while. I'd be very bored. If Beth Ann all she does is play games and talks on Instagram all day, sounds like she's being addicted to it to me. It's too much cell phone. And, I thought Sean was really against all that. But, to me, she's got her over here playing on it all the time. And to me, that don't seem right either, because you got to have a balance, and me, I like to get the kids actually physically doing something, like cleaning up something, or get them to read books, get them to watch some TV, get them to go on trips, walking trips, or taking them to the river or something, or taking them to the beach, something like that, where they could have fun instead of just staying on them phones all the time, or those tablets and all that they got. Because, I see sometimes there's 4 people that are over here. Sometimes John still comes over here and he stays over here sometimes. And I see the devices on my thing. So, I know they all have their own devices now. Each one of them have them. They probably got them from some friends or something, because their parents don't have a lot of money to be buying that stuff. So I'm sure some of their friends gave them some old devices. And some other people gave them some older devices that they had laying around. And that's how they got them. See? And, that's okay. It's nice they got friends that will do that for them. But a lot of people don't usually part with their devices because they can get some money back from them. I know I wouldn't. Now, I might make an exception for the boys or Beth Ann because, they're family to me. But normally people just don't usually give up their devices like that. Even though they're old, I still wouldn't do it. I just sell them to get some money, get a couple $100 back from those devices. Because it's money. It's just, if more you keep them, they lose value. But apparently their friends or somebody or family must have gave them some older devices or something. Or maybe that rich dude they know gave them some portable devices. Maybe gave them all a tablet or something, for Christmas. And so they all have tablets so they can play on video games and all. Because they used to use my devices when I was with them. And I didn't mind them using my devices, and talking on Instagram and all that stuff. I didn't mind that. I liked it. But I miss them very much, and I care about them very much. I don't like them being where they have to be quiet, and they can't be people, and they can't laugh, they can't talk. When they go over to Barbara Poe's, it's very quiet. Even though Beth Ann's over there, sneaking around the back of the building still, coming around the back of the building, coming up the stairs real early in the morning. Got our own nanny cam doing that. And around the building, we got the cameras all around, so we see it. We got it all right here. So we see her going in and out of Barbara Poe's door thanks to the peephole cam, the nanny cam. Woo! Got it. And you got her going in and out. Yep. Like I said, everybody thought I was crazy, but no, it's not crazy at all. It's true. Beth Ann's been coming over here all the time. She's here today, right now, folks. So I hope that we can work things out with that family, because what's going on is very abusive over there with that situation where they have to be quiet. They don't have to be quiet because of me. I already know she's over there. What annoys me is that she won't let them talk or let them be themselves. They got to be totally quiet over there. And there's no reason for it. They're teenagers. Teenagers shouldn't have to be quiet. They shouldn't have to be like that for that time. But, they do. They keep them quiet over there. It's like they're under duress or, sort of in restraints. That's all they can do is play games on the phones all day, which is not really the best thing to do if you're supposed to be a stable, qualified person to watch them. You need to kind of balance out the activities and have do other activities. Not just stay on the phones all day or devices all day or most of the day, because that's not really a good solution. I wouldn't let the kids stay on their devices all day when they were over here, because I don't think that's what Sean would want. But that's what they're doing. But anyway, they say those phones are real addictive, because they really are. That's why I don't stay on mine that much, because they really are addictive. And they can rewire your brain over time, because studies do indicate and show that. And that's not good. But, I use Beth Ann as an example, as a child, as an example of an illustration, because that's what's happening with her. Her brain is being rewired as we speak, because of playing too much on the cell phone or on the devices. And, Sean was always advantageous and be really strong against that. She said they should only be on there for 30 minutes a day. But I thought that was a good regiment. That's good. That's good. A little bit of time is better. I mean, Steve Jobs, he had kids when he was alive. He would never let them have tablets. They never had tablets or anything, because he knew the real truth about what those tablets were doing, rewiring their brains, because they're very addictive. And there's lots of studies that show that too. They get on there talking their social networks and their Instagrams and and all these other apps, Snapchatty chats and Chit Chats and who knows what else they got out there. After school apps and things, you get on there talking, and you be on there for a few hours, and all of a sudden 8 hours goes by, and then you're on there for days and playing video games and all. That's the next worst thing, all these devices, and they are addictive. They can be very addictive, so that's a big problem. That can be an addicted like alcohol or like drugs or or like anything, So that's why I say, you have to have a balance in there. But, I'm retaliating back at Barbara Poe because I'm tired of her opening up my door and coming in my apartment. And yet she don't go to jail for it. But if I tried that number on her, I would go to jail for it. But yet she can get away with it. All she has to do is say, "Oh, he came in my apartment, officer." And I would go to jail for it. But see, she can do it. I've called the officers out here, and they didn't do nothing. They're like, "Oh, well, I didn't see her do it, so them can't do nothing about it, sir, because we didn't see it." But it's okay if she does it. But this is like 3 times she's done this, I'm tired of this. That's why we need to talk, Shields, Sean and Charlie, and we need to work something out. Because I want them out of that situation. I really do. I love those kids. I love them more than you know. And believe me, I am not an abuser, and I did not do those things to your daughter. And that is the truth, Sean, whether you want to believe it or not. That is the real truth about it. And I know you hear voices and like to make up things and imagine things, and you're convinced about it, but you're wrong. You got a big error. And now you subjected your child, Beth Ann Shields, Stephen Shields, and Jeremy sometimes when he goes over there, to this tyrant, which is another abusive situation. So, if your children rebel when they grow up, it won't have anything to do with me. But it'll be you and what you did to them by sending them over here. Because they don't really like coming over here to see Barbara. They don't like it at all. But yet, you still send them over here anyway. I don't understand it. But you just have to learn hard lessons, I guess. And you're definitely going to learn. You got some coming. If you don't wise up. Anyway, getting on to other news, as we know. Well, let's get on the computer. This thing keeps shutting off. Always, I don't know why, and it's driving me nuts. But let's get on here. Let me pause us here for a second, and then we'll come back. That's what we'll do. Yeah, when I look at Barbara, I look at her as a female fox, a vixen. But some people I've heard call her a bitch. And it wasn't me that said it, but I actually called her that one time. But she really is a bitch. But the thing is, when I heard from some neighbors in the building that there was a lady that lived there before Barbara Poe moved in, and she was exactly the same way. So Barbara Poe must be under the influence of a demon. Because the person that lived there before her was exactly the way she was, and they had to take her out of here and move her out of here and put her in a mental place. So Barbara, if she keeps going the way she's going to end up going in the same place. Or something similar. But anyway, let's get to our top stories today. Enough of the Barbara and the Shield saga. We got InfoWars Nightly News talking about how stocks are at record numbers, folks. They're at record numbers. They keep going up. They're talking about the removal of Trump. That's what Anonymous shouts out as a warning to the American people that they want to remove Trump out of office. Not Anonymous wants to, but there's plans that there's people and groups and organizations and a coup that really wants to have Trump removed from office. So this is very disturbing and also something that should be listened to at the same time. Dabu 7 Talk Live. Let me go ahead and refresh this. That should be here. I thought we transmitted that out. Should be here. I think that's it right here. Yeah. Underground World News Live, talking about all kinds of things about cryptocurrency, which is what all nations are going to be going to some form of digital cryptocurrency, which means the dollar bill will not be its value anymore. I mean, they'll still allow you to use the dollar bill, but it's going to change all over to digital currency because that's what most nations are turning to. The frequency of the earth. Now, some people might laugh about this, but really it's called the awakening. It's called Earth's resonance. I mean, the frequency that is given off, the Indians will call it, it was 7.8, but the Indians call it the awakening frequency. That is accelerating. Sometimes it's 16 megahertz, sometimes it's even higher. But that seems to be on the increase ever since 2014, and scientists are a little bit concerned about it. What could this mean? Is it an awaken, or could it mean something else? Could it be signaling the return of the Lord? Maybe it could be tied into that, too, as well. Something to think about. As things continue to heat up with India and China at the border, they send thousands of troops over there to that disputed region. India does, in response to China's threats. Meanwhile, the U.S. plans global drills on counter Russia and other complex threats. Now, what does that mean? That can mean cyber. That can mean, if somebody thinks that you're a threat, they'll take you out, like independent news media. Because of what you say, they're disturbed, so they'll come and lock you up. It could mean all kinds of things there. Speaking about that, get ready! Mr. Sessions vows a crackdown on all leaks. Coming after all independent news outlets and journalists, including freedom of speech. That's right. See, we're talking about that, and this is what really is starting to happen. It went into effect on August the 1st. Big crackdown. Facebook, Google+, Snapchat, Instagram, just to name a few. They're all cracking down. They're all in this whole thing because they've been all bought out by the government. So they're all being looted, and they're all following that same booty because they all been sold over to the devil. Also, they have an interesting warning talking about in Missouri against black people. Yeah, I put Native Americans. I don't mean that. This has come from the NAACP, warning people only in the state of Missouri a travel ban, or warning to local residents as well as people that are traveling to Missouri. If you're black, you better be on the lookout because there's some prejudiced people that want to come after you, which is really, really suspicious. Another headline is the S&P slams to its lowest point in the market in so many years of over 90 years in history is what it says. So that's really something to take a look at. There also is a massive fire that is underway that engulfs the Torch Tower in Dubai. And that was today or yesterday. It sounds like the other thing, the grain tower. Similar thing. They blamed it and said it was a refrigerator that did all that. They said it was electrical fire. It was started by a refrigerator on the third floor in that building. Okay, Lisa Haven's got a few things to pull out here. This creepy Google technology will leave you speechless, folks. 666 has something to do with CERN and also has something to do with the eerie end of modern civilization. So you might want to take a gander at that. Also, something is coming, and it also is happening fast, folks. America's soon restrained, meaning put under martial law. Freedom will be totally taken away, folks. This is bad. So pay attention. Anonymous has a warning. We talked about that. I'm going to say this again in more detail. Coming from the group known as Anonymous. They're not doing it, but they're warning about it from other sources. It says Russia declares state of war between America and to remove Donald J. Trump, our president, from office. So there's a tie-up in that. I don't know if it's a rumor or this is some puffed-up rhetoric, and they're not the ones that are going to do it, but this is what's being planned from many groups out there. It's not Anonymous doing it. They're just reporting on it. Alex Jones, the DNC, Democrat, that's what it stands for in Congress, leaker has been discovered. All right, Democrats show Facebook is designed to brain damage all users. So Beth Ann and Jeremy, please don't stay on your computer so long. Don't be on Facebook or on any of the social medias because they're all like that. They're damaged. They got algorithms in it. And even myself, I work on this stuff, so I'm only on there a few hours a day. But I want to tell you also, Maine and New York State, they have radiation in the water, and cancer-causing agents have been found in the water all across in many places in the nation. It's also found in the Richmond water supply. So if you notice a lot more people getting cancer in your area, there's two things. It's either radiation in the levels in the air is going up, or radiation poisoning, or either somebody's dumped it into the water supply. Okay, so that's two things that you need to really looking out for. That's why I say buy filters and filter your water. The Brita filter won't do it. You got to buy something that's at least $400 or $500 or more. Something that will remove radiation. Make sure it says that on the package, because they do have filters that will take radiation out of the water. It does remove most of it. So you want to make sure you get that. Also, I don't know how to say this. Uteri, I guess, unleashes on Kim Jong-un, the president of North Korea, by saying he is a fool with dangerous toys, meaning he shouldn't have those toys, like the missiles and things, because he is a fool. Because he's not going to win. He's going to end up getting crushed. He keeps messing around. But he just thinks he's got a hand on everything, honey. Senator Booker introduces a bill to legalize marijuana nationwide. Do you believe it? Now, it hasn't gone into effect yet. I think we talked about that and the other things, so I'm going to stop right there. But this is just some of the in the news updates of what's going on our station on Love FM, 88.9, 104.7, and 107.9 Fayetteville, North Carolina. And also on Facebook and Google Plus and everywhere else. I'm Michael DeSilvis. And the news update. We'll keep you up to date with the Shield saga and let you know if we get back together, you'll hear it all here first. Because that's what I'm hoping, and I think this is going to bring us together. That's why I'm reporting on this, because I don't like the situation where Beth Ann is. I don't like it at all. And I don't like it if the boys are over there, I don't like it either. Because she's brainwashing them and she's abusing them, not allowing them to talk. So, let's pray that they can get out of that situation. And that we can come back together so they can act like regular teenagers when they're over here. And they can talk and they can laugh and they can giggle and be people. And not be restrained. In the news, Michael DeSilvis for Love FM and DeSilvis' Media. I love you. Reporting the news, the truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Take care.